My name is Elie and I am in Ghana because I founded a company back in 2019 called Almond. I'm half German, half Ghanaian Togolese. I grew up up until I was 18, I lived in Togo, Benin, and Ghana. Then I went to Germany to study. I then went on to live in Barcelona, where I did my PhD. I then did my postdoc through the Lund University in Ghana, and this is how, within the scope of my postdoc research, I stumbled upon the idea that brought Almond to life.
The conventional almond, nutty, delicious, nutritious, and a highly water-intensive crop. The almond is hugely popular, making it the most consumed tree nut worldwide. But to grow a single almond requires 12 liters of water. And yet, there are 520 edible nuts in the world, but only 10 are really being utilized worldwide, while the others remain neglected. The tropical almond, Terminalia catapa, is one of the neglected edible nuts. It's even been classified as such by the FAO since 1995. Its nut is just as nutritious and delicious as the conventional almond, rich in proteins and minerals. And its trees, drought-resistant and water-resilient, require no irrigation water to grow in Ghana.
At Almond, we produce products made out of the tropical almond. The tropical almond is a tree that grows in West Africa. Currently, it is not being used in Ghana. It is a tree that everybody, most kids and also adults, know of. It doesn't have a local name. It's called abrofo nkati. Nkati means nuts, and abrofo means like the white man's nuts. Like it was brought to Ghana from outside. Initially, it is said to have come from India or from Asia. The fact that, we're a predominantly lactose demographic here in Africa, and yet we're being flooded with imported dairy products from the EU and internationally. Meanwhile, we could also make use of locally made plant-based alternatives to cow milk. So we launched our products in Ghana, West Africa, and we're preparing to scale to also be able to address the European market and the US market. So Almond came to be when I came back to Ghana, basically for some research work that I was doing here. My eyes opened up to this crop as an adult when I saw its potential, and I was trying to understand why not more was being done with the tropical almond. And that's really how the idea of Almond was born. I was like, this nut, in terms of its nutritional value, is basically identical to the conventional almond, of which 80% are grown in drought-prone California. Meanwhile, here in Ghana, we have the tropical almond that is completely water resilient. It requires no irrigation water to grow. It's saline tolerant, it's drought tolerant. There's just so many environmental aspects of this tree that are just promising in the face of a climate crisis that we're facing globally. So there's this excitement about just having something new on the market. This is locally, but also internationally. The responses have been very welcoming when they look at the holistic approach that we're trying to do at Almond, to really develop a product that goes beyond just its functional use for the consumer, in terms of us being sustainable in how we go about the company in itself. Almond is also really very much about diversifying not just what we eat, but also where it comes from and who grows our food, right? So if we just look at the bigger picture of how our food systems work, we really just have a handful of crops that our food systems have focused on to feed the world. Meanwhile, there's so many other neglected and underutilized species that could fulfill that purpose, and in doing so, help alleviate the strain that is placed maybe on one part of the world, one region of the world, on just, one mass-produced crop. I mean, the challenges in general, besides being a woman, I mean, there's no point of reference really. There is no existing source of tropical almonds where we can just call and be like, okay, here, you can order your X amount of tons that you need to produce. We actually need to lay the groundwork and be the pioneers in creating that infrastructure and that structure to be able to source responsibly. And that's what motivates me every day. And also the excitement of not having any direct competitors. That gives a huge degree of freedom to be able to explore and to do it your way, but that also gives you can be lost in the forest. Always remembering that your journey is still a very distinct journey, and it's always going to be a very personal journey. So always, nobody will have the answers for you ever. I think that it is very important to be sure of your commitment to your idea and to your project, because you need to be tenacious. You need to have a high level of frustration tolerance. It would be good to have some form of cushion, something to fall back on, some form of family support if you start out without, the funding that you need. Having a team is quite important, but finding the right combination, the right person to partner with, is also critical, because you're in for the long. And that's all the behind the scenes work that obviously nobody will get to see unless the consumer is really interested in understanding the journey and understanding every step of the process. It's just not that sexy part where you can just flaunt a finished product and be like, yes, this is the finished part, and you can just use it and it just happened like this. No, there's that background work and pioneering work that needs to be done that doesn't come for free. I want Almond to be a Ghanaian brand that brings West Africa to the plant-based landscape, so that we can unlock Africa's potential to be part of the running of shaping our food systems.